What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, coming at you today with a little bit of a frustrated rant to really just put another nail in the coffin of Fallout 76. This game sucks, but deep down, I actually thought it might improve dramatically after launch, because we knew that this game was going to have some troubles. It seemed like a project that was doomed to be a little bit peculiar in many different aspects, but my main feeling was the fact that Bethesda's kind of used to having buggy launches. Typically, every single one of their games releases with some sort of major or minor flaws in them, but they're able to try and release some big updates and patches to try and smooth over the cracks. But with this game, they still haven't managed to really do that, and that's not despite the fact that they have released a ton of patches in the meantime. So as of recording this video, it's been almost 2 weeks since the game came out, and if we're measuring since the time the beta was released, makes this almost an entire month that people have been playing on live servers. And there have been about 12 patches in that time, none of which have noticeably improved this shambling mess of a $60 project. This morning I actually woke up hoping to maybe test out the way the game plays now, and even today they're installing yet another enormous patch to try and glue together this broken freaking shard of a Fallout experience. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I had high hopes for Fallout 76. In fact, I was not even worried in the slightest about the idea, the fact that it wasn't going to have NPCs. You know, some of my favorite experiences in any Bethesda games is the times when I get to just wander around and find stories that exists in the environment. I mean, think about back to The Elder Scrolls 3, Morrowind. That was the first time I ever got to try a game in that series, and as soon as I got off the boat and created my character at the very beginning of the game, I started just trying to explore the wilderness, and I found this little crypt, so I snuck inside and started trying to just see what was in there. And there were all these spooky ghosts that were actually wandering through the halls, and I had to just basically assume that somebody had tried to rob this grave, awoken the undead, and now they were trying to kill anybody who was nearby. And it was such a miraculous, cool experience. And it really kind of made me realize that Bethesda truly are the kings of telling you a story without saying a single word. So when Fallout 76 was being released, I thought that it had basically unlimited potential to try and really maximize on that aspect of their games. And instead, they completely blew it. The biggest issue about this game is the fact that it feels so lonely and so empty even when you are completely surrounded by other players. So it really makes me think, the more hours I put into this freaking destroyed project, this should have been early access. I'm saying that because, in general, I am actually somebody who very much hates early access games, because I think that they're so usually just rushed, cached grabs that they just want to try and get you to buy stuff before it's truly complete. But in this one example, I think that it certainly would have been the correct choice. You see, I not only played a bunch of Fallout 76, but I bought it. I'm somebody who got a review copy on Xbox, but I pre-ordered it on PlayStation 4, and notice my copy is still factory sealed. The worst part of all, the people like me who bought this game for $60 are now already seeing it get a deep discount. Many retailers are already selling this game for $40 or $35 in an effort to just try and clear store shelves. And it's making me think more and more that that should have been the default price. $30 for an early access game opens up a lot more doors for basically big updates, lots of content patches, and later on expanding the game to be a true Fallout experience. By far, the most glaring issue in this game is the fact that there isn't a single character that you can talk to and have a real genuine connection with, and that's something that's so far apart from any other Bethesda project. But if they made this early access, I think that they could have had a bigger storyline reason to that. Now, just imagine for a second if we just closed our eyes and pictured a Fallout 76 that didn't suck. And what it could have is, perhaps you go into the wasteland and start exploring and finding finding all these notes and journals of people who used to live there that recently passed away. This could be an opportunity to gear yourself up and make friends. And then, over the course of the coming months, or maybe even years, we start to see people move in, and this could be done by giant updates. We could see people show up in groups of 5, 10, or 20 people at a time, making where maybe certain cities get populated one by one. This would give them a chance to write the story, make it connect, and make it seem like this place is slowly being expanded beyond just the scope of the normal Fallout 76 world. Make it so perhaps we see areas that start to build a more deep lore and cool moments to make us actually care about this universe again. Fallout 76 is so aggravating to me because I am a Fallout fan. Not only have I actually tried to do every single mission in all the games, conquer the DLC, and really get immersed in the game experience, I think that I'm really invested in the idea that these are games that are trying to be different. They want to try and stand out by trying to provide a much deeper and honestly a much more stark contrast to the typical light, thin storylines. So the fact that they decided to make a game that is just so paper thin is so baffling. So I feel like another good advantage of this whole Fallout 76 thing is if they had done this early access, I feel like they still could have kept their team happy, because honestly, my inside sources have said the fact that they had to have this out by Christmas. They were required to. It didn't matter how finished it was, it didn't matter how bright and vibrant it was, it didn't matter the fact that the frame rate is 13 frames a second. It was just about mattering of getting it on store shelves before Black Friday. And now, here we are, it's destroyed. But if they had actually managed to make this an early access game from the start, they could have had it out there and had more opportunities to really smooth out the rough edges, to test things, to see a way to try and make the player versus player combat a little bit more refined. There are so many opportunities that are so obviously missed that it really distracts from the overall joy. And at this point, I want to say something that's probably a little bit controversial, but I'm actually sad that this probably is costing Bethesda tons and tons of cash. Okay, yes, Fallout 76 totally blows, and you definitely should not buy it, but it should have been good. It should have been early access, and really, now they're losing a ton of money because not only are they having to update the servers and have a giant team of people constantly rushing to put out tons and tons of patches, but maybe you don't know this, but every time you release a patch for a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One game, you actually have to pay Sony and Microsoft to verify it. Releasing updates is a big cash sink. Some people have even said that it's about $10,000 for every single update. So multiply that by the fact that they've probably already released 15 or 20 updates means that they have literally spent millions of dollars just trying to patch the holes in the boat while they watch it sink. If they had been able to somehow delay this, it could have gone better. But if they'd released it early access at the same time, they could have had the advantage that with early access games, you usually don't have to pay those update fees. That is the secret reason that Fortnite Battle Royale is going to stay beta forever, because at this point, the game plays as good as it's ever going to play, but by making it early access, they can keep throwing out skins, new content, expanded maps, and all that stuff at $0 because really it's just raking in cash since they're not paying a single cent for updates. This entire scenario is so just distracting. We should be able to just focus on the awesome, amazing times that are having within this world. And it's so stupid that they decided to break it for no reason. This morning I saw an article that was written by Polygon.com where they said that, hey, here's some tips for trying to play Fallout 76 despite the fact that it is a dumpster fire. This game may anger you, but it's got some good story in it. What kind of bizarro world are we in where people are trying to force themselves to play a game despite the fact that it is such a broken, unpleasant time? You should not be doing this in order to try and play a game. Nothing should be that dedicated and that unpleasurable. I hate situations like this because I know deep down, they only exist to turn a profit. Fallout 5 is going to need to be a bombshell to win fans back. If you try and release another game that is this rushed, this shoddy, you are only going to earn your own fans' ire. I feel like the people that are at the very top of Bethesda right now are probably staying silent simply because they don't want to get in trouble. But thankfully, I do happen to know somebody who's a CEO of a major company, so let's just ask Doug Money, the king of microtransactions, why this game might be so freaking messed up for utterly no reason. Take it away, Doug.
Howdy folks, I'm Doug Money. Some of y'all may remember me from previous rant videos. Well, DreamcastGuy decided to ask me just to kind of give my 2 cents, if you understand me, all about this whole kerfuffle revolving around Fallout 76. Because, in general, it seems like such an obvious mess that easily could have been avoided simply by finishing the game. But let me tell you, none of that really matters. There is one king in the gaming business, and that's cash. Cold, hard moolah. The more you got in your bank account, the more you're going to be able to stay in business, keep paying for more stuff, and honestly, just churning out more content to put out there and get those credit card numbers. It ain't about a good game, it's about having a game. As long as it's out there, people are going to spend, especially if it's got a nice, fancy title on it called Fallout. I mean, think about it. When they made Fallout Shelter, that app was pretty dang unique, but part of the reason people installed it is because it was so close to Fallout 4. I mean, it gave them something to do. People are willing to do anything as long as it's got a cool title on it, and Fallout 76 was the ultimate gamble to see if you gentlemen and ladies were willing to jump on that train even though you knew that something was wrong. So you can't blame me, Doug Money. Blame Bethesda, because they don't give a shit, boy!
Well, that guy is pretty strange, of course, but at least he kind of elucidates the point that this is a time where people are trying to just rush everything they can. A game on the shelf is better than a game in mind. A game that's released and patched always has a chance to be another No Man's Sky, whether we like it or not. Thanks so much for watching, gamers. I want to know what you guys think. Are you okay with the idea that Fallout 76 is just slowly going to try and grow and expand, and it might be awesome in a year or two, or are you glad that you didn't buy it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. Oh, hey. I was just playing a little bit of Grand Theft Auto on my Darth Vader PSP. Are you curious what I'm going to come out with next? Well, if you click this button, you'll be subscribed to be the first to know. Also, if you click over here and here, you can see my latest review and my latest top 10. I promise, it was super good. Or it was really bad and I'm sure you can just make fun of me in the comments. Either way, it'll be a lot of fun. Thanks so much for watching.